Welcome to Strait Forward, a podcast about Taiwan, the island at the center of technological innovation and the global fight for democracy. I'm Channing Lee.
And I'm Libby Lang.
And Libby, it's Thanksgiving this week. What are you grateful for?
Honestly, starting this podcast with you.
I
know it's both cheesy and true. I think it's been like really fun, but also a great learning experience. We've gotten to meet so many interesting people. So I'm just really happy we get to do it.
That is so sweet.
And what about you, Channing?
I think on the lines of the podcast, I'm so grateful that the reception has been really good. And there's been so much enthusiasm about people wanting to work with us to come up with new stories to tell about Taiwan. I'm grateful for the community that we've built around this podcast and obviously the people that care about Taiwan. So it's been a really, really wonderful year, and really excited to, film another episode with you.
I know, and in the spirit of the holidays, we do have a very fun episode today that I know we're both very excited about because today we will actually be introducing and playing a board game.
Yes, it's going to be so different from our past episodes. I mean, for a quick run of show, I guess we're going to do a little bit of a chat about this game, but we do also want to play because this is such an interesting concept.
Yeah, so I guess for everyone's awareness, as you can see on the table here, today we will be playing the game 2045. And so 2045 is a game that imagines a world 20 years in the future in which the PLA invades Taiwan. And so the game is essentially players playing out that invasion of Taiwan through various roles.
And when I first heard about this game, I thought, oh, this can't be real. Why would you make this into a game? Because it almost seems too serious of a topic, and it's also a little too real, right? Mm-hmm. So we spent, full disclaimer, we spent a lot of time trying to figure out this game. It is quite hard, quite complicated. It even says 90 to 180 minutes of game time.
So for our board game nerds out there, stay tuned.
Yes. But just quick background, I mean, in addition to the overview that you gave, it's basically a game about self-interest, right? There are 6 potential characters. 6. 6 potential characters that you can play. You get a passport, a hutao, and each of these passports has some kind of character. So the 6 different identities that you can have are government forces, Taiwan Self-Defense Forces, okay, obvious, Silicon Shield Incorporated, TND Alliance, Whale Aerospace, and the Unification Committee. So basically public sector, private sector, civil society. So quite defense industrial complex. So quite realistic, I suppose. And the whole setting is that, this invasion is going to happen. As the individual player, what are you going to do about it?
Mm-hmm. And I think what makes it really interesting is it's not necessarily a game about all the players trying to make Taiwan win or to make China win. It's really about maximizing your own self-interest based on what your interests are. And so each of those identities has a different way of scoring based on, if China wins, maybe actually some of those characters gain a little something, even if they are, a Taiwanese character. And I think that makes the game, every outcome as we have seen, as we've practiced, could be quite different depending on who you are. And of course, you're kind of keeping that identity secret while you play, and so you're having to think about whether you want to trust your fellow players and work together with them or just sort of go it on your own and try to do your best.
I know, I always say I want to be the PLA spy because I feel like that'd be the most fun in a game scenario, to be clear. But I think just on that point, like there are 3 factions in the game, so each character kind of has these factions that they're more aligned with. So those are the pro-government faction, the local support faction, and the corporate faction. So again, actually reflecting on Taiwan and the complexities around the island, the different identities, the politics, it actually makes a lot of sense. So eerily realistic.
Yes. And so before we actually get into playing the game, we're very fortunate today to actually be able to first have a conversation with the creator of this game. So today we will be bringing on KJ Chang. KJ is the founder of Mizo Games, the studio behind 2045, as well as games like Raid on Taihoku. And so we're very excited to bring KJ on.
All right, let's get into it. KJ, thank you so much for joining us for this podcast. Thanks for joining us, despite the time.
My pleasure.
Despite the time difference, we're really excited to talk to you about this game. It's so cool, but also so complicated, and I can't wait to get into this. But just to start for our audience, can you introduce Mizo Games? What inspires you to make the games that you make, and also what personally inspired you to start making these types of board games?
Well, my grandpa's bedtime story were unusual. As a kid, I fell asleep to his memories of World War II, how Taipei and Keelung were bombed by US air raids. And later, when I grew up, I wrote an elementary school essay about my grandpa and realized none of my classmates had heard stories like that because their families mostly came to Taiwan with the KMT in 1949. So that gave that gave made these games personally very meaningful. And at Mizo Games, we want history to be feels emotion. And games aren't just entertainment to us; they are a way to let people feel history. And I can briefly explain Raid on Taioku before 2045. Raid on Taioku is a corporation game about a family trying to survive until the war ends. And if any one family member dies, everyone loses. So it's a no one can die corporation game. And we also looked to a video game called This World of Mine, which depicts the Yugoslav wars as a key references. And our inspirations come from real events like World War II and Taiwan's history and identity. But our goal isn't to glorify the pen. Our goal is to use the pressure of the play to help players understand the choices people may make at the age of survival.
That's super
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's amazing that, it seems like, as you said, a lot of your games, I guess, center around conflict, and maybe that's not a topic that most people would, first think of when they think of board games, unless maybe you're thinking about the game of Risk.
Yeah, see, I think of like Chutes and Ladders, Monopoly, all the fun ones.
Yes, Channing was like, why can't this just be like going up and down the board? But it is really interesting, I guess, in this case, that 2045, which we have here on the table, is thinking about what a PLA invasion of Taiwan would actually look like and turning that into a game form. So can you talk a little bit about where that idea came from and what the creative process was like for making a game like this that hits so close to home?
I love to play board games, and over decades ago, I opened a board game shop, and eventually 5 stores across northern Taiwan. And I also published novel, but I realized very early I didn't just want to sell games. I wanted to make content. And I think making content in this era is a blessing and a curse today because it's
Don't we know it?
Yeah.
Yes, that's my opinion. After the early success of Raid on Taihoku, I want doubled down on that path. I want continue using games to create real empathy. Yeah. And if Raid on Taihoku is a romantic obsessive collaborations game, I think 2045 is the opposite because real world isn't romantic. And while Raid on Taihoku was commercially successful and resonated with Taiwanese and Japanese markets, and I think this time, 2045, everyone plays fractious Taiwanese factions, and the rules even allow betrayal. And it's possible for China to unify by forcing for some players to still win. So we put Taiwan's win or lose at a higher abstract level. Your personal victory can clash hard with the nation's fate.
And so you mentioned that, in your previous games, people from other countries were interested in playing it and it did well there as well. When you were making 2045, what audience were you thinking of? Were you thinking of selling this mainly to Taiwanese players, or are you thinking about this as a global game?
Well, I think global market is our this is a test because I've watched hundreds of plays played by Taiwanese And last week we go to Essen, Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And Essen Spiel is the biggest board game expo in the world. I found the game drew attention from many countries and even from Chinese players and publishers. And some Chinese players even joked that playing it feels like ironic performance art. So I think this game will be interested by I think Taiwan, the Great China area, and Japan and America. Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to ask you what the reception was like at this expo in Germany that you had spoken to us about earlier. But so thanks for sharing that, and I'm really intrigued at how many, or just like how Chinese players, I guess, reacted. So really, really interesting. After our conversation here today with you, we are actually going to play the game and kind of show our audience what it's like. It's actually really complicated. We tried spending some time yesterday, actually the last few weeks, trying to learn how to play. It's both complicated to set up and to play, but I think it really reflects just kind of the real life factors, right? There's so many nuances and details that we noticed as we were both trying to set it up multiple times and also understand. And everything actually kind of makes sense. It's just, for a board game, it's just really complicated. So
a lot of moving pieces, literally.
Literally. And I thought some of the details, like, if a PLA and a Taiwanese battalion go to battle, like the Taiwanese troops will lose lose one or two troops no matter what. I thought that was really neat. And, if the PLA wins, they might not win. I thought the other detail you had in there about how there are unlimited PLA soldiers, so if you run out of tokens, you could just use coins and other little knickknacks to stand in their place, because it's probably from Taiwan's perspective, it kind of seems like that. So anyways, I love all the detail, but we wanted to ask you, what real life factors did you take into consideration as you were making the rules for this game? And also, what kinds of factors or considerations did you actually have to give up because this is still, at the end of the day, a board game format?
Well, the PLA landing points in the north, center, and south are taken straight from Chinese state media references.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And because our timeline is set 20 years in the future, we added elements like EMT units, small nuclear devices, and even like Yonaguni Island from Japan being fortified to leave room for imagination. And I think players will think, do you believe Taiwan can actually win? If China looks like it's winning, do you still resist? We put those choices in the players' hands. And about what we sacrificed for the format, there's 4 points. One, we removed naval and air warfare focus on amphibious landings. Otherwise, the system would become far more complex.
Yeah, you need like a 4D game.
Yeah. And many people think our premise, Taiwan's air and sea forces are not completely wiped out, is unrealistic. They think Taiwan is more powerful. And we also assume Penghu, a key front line, has already fallen. And that's decidedly pessimistic starting point. Yeah. And we set it so that only rebel factions can fight each other. And the color is purple, because purple is mixed by blue and red. That's that's some hints. Yeah. But in reality, do Taiwanese factions truly avoid internal conflict? We don't know. And last one is foreign assistance. I think it's a very interesting point. But foreign assistance appears only as small scale support. Otherwise, there would be too many variables, and we want to keep that focus on this being something we Taiwanese must grapple with ourselves. Yeah.
Yeah, we were interested in what the foreign reinforcements were actually for because there were very few cards that actually used them.
But we kept adding to it, and so we kept wanting to take
To
those
take 'em,
troops
yeah.
and put them somewhere. So we were waiting, like, I hope I get that card. So very useful addition to the game.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, I just want to share with you because yesterday when we were playing, we didn't have too much time, so we only did one or two rounds, and I don't know if we did it correctly because I had a new character enter the board, and then the second character, the second player, our friend or colleague Bobby, he initiated a PLA air raid, and so that immediately just killed all of us. You know, we all lost troops, and we basically just started. The new character I just introduced died, and so then Libby drew another card, and the action was surrender. And so within one round, our very first round, we basically all died, and we thought, oh my goodness, this is such a brutal reality.
Yeah, it's hard to take yourself out of the mindset of Taiwan has to win because, of course, here in this room, we all want Taiwan to win. But as you pointed out with this game and sort of in the roles that you're playing, that's not necessarily like the highest goal of each player. And so like rewiring your brain like that is kind of hard.
Yeah, so we wanted to ask you because we didn't get to play too many times before we talked to you. You know, what are the different ways that this game is supposed to be able to end? And also, what is the most common way that it ends?
Well, the game runs 5 rounds, and after 3 to round 5, depending on how many cities the PLA occupies, you get 2 big outcomes. First is Taiwan's will to resist is strong, and foreign forces intervene. Or second, China succeed in forces unification, and either way, there are individual winners at the table. Yeah, and we actually turned the system so China's win rate is higher. But based on our app scoring, Taiwanese players clearly try to fight against that reality, stage a comeback. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's very promising to hear in terms of will to fight, I guess, at least in the game. People are really willing to defend Taiwan. That's good. In terms of, I guess, you mentioned you've seen a lot of people playing in the real world now. You've gotten to watch people's gameplay, even through the app. Has anything surprised you in terms of how people have reacted to the game or in how people are playing it?
Yes. Many people start with, I'm going to resist the invasion. But at the mid-game, they switch to, if I want to win, does Taiwan's outcome still matter to me? Yeah. We've seen a government forces player defect because they scored cruelly if Taiwan wins. And we've also seen a unification promotion player, which actually she supported the independence of Taiwan. She kept their identity secret the whole time and destroyed the most PLA units and become the hero after the Taiwan victory. And I think humans are very complicated. It's ironic, but it just like mirrors Taiwan's reality.
I love the thought that went into it. And I also noticed there is like a award for like the hero or just
Taiwan #1.
Yes, exactly.
I love that.
A little ribbon. No, thank you. This is so interesting, and I'm really glad we got to hear from you. For now, all our audience is probably wondering, how do I play this game? So if we're wondering, for those of us outside of Taiwan currently, how can we access this game?
Okay, we already have partners in Europe and Asia, and we are currently talking with the U.S. logistics provider.
Oh, great.
And you can check our website, mizogames.com, and socials for the latest distributors and expo pickups. And we'll go to Tokyo, Japan in late November. And because of the 关税 So we can't straight
The tariffs.
deliver to America now. Yeah, it's a pity.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll get that all sorted. So that the American audience can play this game.
Yes, but I guess now coming, outside of, I guess, recommending your own game once it's here in the U.S. for us, we also like to ask all of our guests to give us a Taiwan recommendation for people who may not know as much, may want to learn more about Taiwan. So if you could recommend something to people, what would it be?
Well, I recommended a film that's about to release, A Foggy Tale. The Mandarin name is Da Meng. Yeah, it's very good. The background set in 1950s Taiwan, and for places I recommend Tainan and Kaohsiung. One is Taiwan's oldest city, and the other is our core city and my mother's hometown.
Aww.
Yeah, and for food, I think Yansuji salt and pepper fried chicken is very iconic. Very Taiwan, yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I love popcorn chicken. I think that's what we call it in English. You're actually the first person to mention that, so thank you. Now I really want to go eat some.
Well, thank you for all those recommendations. I will just say we've gotten so many TV and movie recommendations lately. I do feel like we probably need to do a full episode on this at some point. I feel like there's like a renaissance happening in Taiwanese TV and movies. So stay tuned for that. But thank you for your recommendations.
And last question, a little surprise for our audience, but we are about to play this game. Again, for our audience, can you give us any tips before we begin playing?
Okay. This is the real world. Play to win for yourself. So by any means necessary, this isn't Taiwan vs China. It's your faction trying to survive after the war and carve out a future.
Okay, It's not Taiwan versus China. It's Libby versus Channing.
Oh my gosh. May the best player win. Thank you so much for this. We're so grateful that you spent your time talking with us. And we'll let you know how our gameplay goes.
Okay. Looking forward.
All right, well, we're squishing into this frame real quickly just so we can all be together. We are here with Bobby Owens, one of the producers of our show. We're really excited to both feature you, but also drag you through this really complicated game. Just kidding, I'm so excited. We will be playing, because this game requires 3 to 6 players, naturally, Libby and I needed a third. So, Bobby, welcome to Strait Forward.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be in front of the camera this time.
Bobby's actually one of the star members of the Strait Forward team, just unfortunately has been behind the camera, so now you're in front of the camera.
Yep.
So wave, yay.
Hello.
All right, anyways, we will be playing
2045.
2045. All right, so to start, obviously, for those watching the video version, you saw some of the setup that went into us. And so as you can see, we have a very complex board laid out. There are so many different pieces. We'll try to sort of get to the explanation of what all of them are. But for everyone's knowledge, we all have received our secret identity passports. So none of us knows who each other are. We are all now sort of playing within the interests of whatever is contained within this mysterious green book. So keep your lips sealed tightly. But for those who watch on video, we do want to reveal our characters to you so you know who we are. Even though, Libby and Bobby don't know who I am and the same goes to. So, okay, maybe, should I start, Libby? Libby starts first. All right, so Bobby
nobody look. All right, showing this up to the camera. All right.
This one is my character.
And this one is my character.
All right. And so other than our secret identities, we also all chose our starting characters. And so these characters will determine where we enter on this beautiful map of Taiwan. For those who can see from above, it's very detailed in terms of all of the different cities in Taiwan. And so for me, personally, my first starting character is the Exoskeleton Squad. So that means that I enter with 3 troops at Hsinchu, which of course is a great place to enter because that's where we know most of Taiwan's chips are.
You definitely chose that on purpose, huh?
Yeah, I know. It's not great to be lined up against this super powerful PLA elite over here, but that's, I guess, just the way luck shakes out.
I have the Flying Squad character.
Oh, what's your little thing? What does it say on it?
Which one?
Flying soldier.
Oh, flying soldiers don't die. They just fly even higher.
Oh my gosh, mine is
Yeah.
there's no surrender, only death. Okay, so
Well, it probably knew you
standing my
surrendered last time and said, no, Libby, you're not allowed to surrender.
And so where do you enter?
I'm going to Chai.
Jai is where they are building their drone park. So that's really exciting.
At D5. Right in the middle
right.
of the map.
And one other thing we should note, this game is completely bilingual. Literally every piece has Chinese and English on it, so it is trying to be as accessible as possible language-wise, which we really appreciate.
All right, I am much opposite of myself in real life. I am Early Riser Squad. It says, I'm well rested and ready to go. So I better live up to that. All right, I have 3 troops at Taichung. So 1, 2, 3. Zhong.
All right, so we're pretty well concentrated.
I'm like a muscular man I have really big muscles and I have 2 really big weights and I'm wearing like a white tank top and I look very buff.
Very true to life.
Yes.
All right, so we also already determined our starting order during the setup time. And I think, Channing, actually, you're first among us.
Yes, I am. Okay. Flow of a player's turn, play a card and execute an action. If an action card is played, gain 1 on the alliance track of the corresponding faction. So I see this card. It says Starlink support, which I think is super cool. I'm honestly just interested in this because I think it's cool. So if I could pick it up, I cut my nails, so now I can't. Anyways, here is my card, Starlink support. I will gain 1 for the pro-government faction, so I'm going to move my little tile here. It says, Musk and I go way back. Oh, okay. Choose any faction alliance track to gain 1 point, then choose one of the following. All right, so I can support the front line. I can take 3 troops from foreign reinforcements and add them to any character you control. Ooh.
Wow, okay.
Or overseas logistics. I can add 3 troops from the supply to foreign reinforcements. I'm going to take 3 troops because we never get to.
We were wondering that during our last practice round, is when do we get to use our foreign reinforcements?
So there are 12 originally here in the setup, and I was thinking maybe it's because of Taiwan's 12 allies. So that's neat. Or 12 countries that recognize Taiwan. All right, where did I go? My muscular man? Okay. So now I have 6 troops in Taichung.
Okay, Taichung is very well defended as of right now.
And I guess that's it.
So now you have to do your PLA part of your turn.
Yes. I have to lure the PLA or incite the elite. I'm just going to lure. It seems safer on the first turn. Take one of these little chips that says +2. And I can lure them anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll just start here. All right, I think my turn is done.
Awesome.
All right, so now
Sound
it
neat.
is Bobby's turn.
Awesome. I think I'm going to do the character card because I really like the card that is here. It is Captain Capybara. He's got a little orange hat on. His saying is first to the onsen, then to war. Excuse me. Yeah. Place 3 troops at Miaoli.
Miaoli. All right, so here is your
Perfect.
capybara.
Thank you.
Of course, KJ said, very, very true to life game. You have your capybara soldier.
Can you imagine
3
us
troops.
in war, just a giant capybara like running
Disarm you with
towards
its cuteness.
And that is at B4. I'm right next to you.
Oh my gosh, okay. We're having better luck this time in
wrong
terms
way.
of
Wrong
That's
way.
the
our
traitor way.
location.
But is it better if we're all together or if we're all separate?
I feel like being separate last time was hard though, because we couldn't.
We all just died. That's okay.
Yeah.
And I think that is it for my turn.
All right, is it me?
Mhm.
Okay,
Yes.
and my player bonus going third is that I can check these cards. So now that it's my turn, Could I see what the central action card is? Okay, I'm going to take this. So I drew a character card also, which is the Religious Guards card. And her slogan is, "Everyone, follow me and fight together." So I gain 1 point for local support. And
Mine is also 1 point for local support.
All right.
Thank you.
lots of steps to this game. This is me, and I enter with 3 troops at C. Oh, shoot. I'm like first line of defense with every one of my characters. So I'm just all along Taiwan's coastline, apparently. Move 1 character you control 0 to 2 spaces. I'm going to move away from this, the elite.
So you're moving from Hsinchu to Taoyuan.
I'm a bit of a coward, so I'm going to move to Yingge, which, for those who know, great place to make pottery in Taiwan. I don't know how it will be as a fighting space.
Libby got scared of the PLA and went to go make pottery.
Yes, and my skill is that I gain 1 troop before moving, which is great. So I'm going to take that. And now I have 4 troops with me making pottery. That's a very precarious tower. All right, so now I have to choose to lure or incite the PLA. Why don't I lure these guys here to Taipei?
Wow, bold of you. You know it's the most populous city in Taiwan.
So now I will take my lure token over here, and the battle hasn't happened yet because these 2 weren't connected, but it will happen soon.
So you moved... What is that? Where did you move the PLA from?
From here, F2 to A1.
Is that Yilan?
Yes, from Yilan to Taipei.
Okay.
And so now we are right on the cusp of a battle, but I don't think we can actually start it yet.
All right.
And I think that is the end of my turn.
All right, so we have to still do the rest of the cards, right?
Yes. Still 3 cards left, for better or for worse. And so I have the terrible honor, although I guess I could draw the card and just give it up and do my basic actions instead. So that is because I drew the PLA Elite card, and this is the card Blade Rocket Troops with the skill Taiwan Massive Air Raid, which doesn't sound great for Team Taiwan. I need to now choose 4 characters from the Taiwanese army to lose 2 troops each. So
You could take mine.
I was going to say, I'm sorry to the early risers, but they're going to have to lose 2.
That's what you get for waking up
They're
early.
well stocked.
Early bird does not get the worm.
Who else has more than 2 troops?
Just 2, right?
Yeah.
From that, okay.
Dead. Capybara, I'm gonna have to take. Should I take 2 from mine and then?
Oh.
Or should I keep it here because this has more than all these troops?
Well, this guy will die for sure if you take them.
I'll just get my 2 troops back, I guess.
Okay, I guess that works out. So that wasn't as bad.
Okay.
Why were we absolutely obliterated yesterday when the
We went
PLA
through with the
air
full
raid?
effects.
Our Taiwan military this time is much more resilient.
Yes, whole society.
I think that actually finishes up the first round of the game, right? We
Right.
played all the cards.
All right, so to incite the elite, choose 1 PLA elite unit to move 1 and 2 spaces. There's only 1. So if I... 5, 6. So I only need 6 to win, I guess. Or no. Not me.
Well,
Interesting.
This
our
guy-
super secret identities.
This
Yeah.
guy only needs 6 to win. All right.
My religious guard. She doesn't have any skill during battle.
All right, so I have moved the elite to Qingshui, where Libby's character is.
Put up a valiant fight, clearly. The Taiwanese versus PLA graveyard is not looking so hot.
No.
I'm going to retreat to Taichung because that's a major city. And regroup from there.
It says remove all lore tokens, gain 2 points for each token removed.
Oh, whoa, so you just got a ton of points.
But there are
Oh, wait,
Because
all lure tokens?
There
oh,
are
wow.
5 on the board right now. No, 6.
3, 4, 5.
So Channing just got 12 points.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's almost like when
I
the PLA
didn't-
does well, Channing does well.
First of all, I didn't realize I'd get points for this. Thought we could show our audience what happens when the PLA attacks.
Aw, shucks. I just got so many points.
I know. Oops.
What are you implying? That this is every man or woman for herself.
I think that's it. That was sad. Hard for all of us, yeah.
Well, I only have one character left, so I'm going to, hopefully one of these will be a character card. So I'm going to go the north, because that is the farthest away from the enemies. It's not a character card, it is an event. It is called Remote Mine, a remote control booby trap. The card? Could be interesting. Choose a corporate base in Area A or Area B and destroy 2 PLA troops in that base.
And I think you get contributions from that, which we maybe were supposed to be giving ourselves all along the way.
And we'll hold
Hold on the
this
fort.
little line right here.
Can you call 2 points a line?
Yeah, it's big enough. And I think that's it for my turn.
All right, guys. I know it felt like we were so close to turning the tide right there at the end, but I think that is all the gameplay time we have for today.
I was actually trying to decide if I wanted to reveal my character, if I didn't want to reveal my character. You guys obviously knew or had suspicions.
Yes, despite your poker face,
Despite
there
my poker
were
face.
some signs.
Wonder what those could have been. But hey, the PLA did really well. And since I was a trader and in support of the unification community, I guess I would have won, right?
Yeah, no, I know that's something that KJ was telling us during the interview was, remember to play for yourself and, think about your own interests. But he even said himself, it's really hard sometimes to pull yourself out of the wanting Taiwan to win mindset. Even here, you feel like you're fighting this unbeatable tide. But at least I felt like I was just like, if I can just get a few more troops up here, I can do something and I can, start turning them back.
Yeah, I felt the same way. That was my biggest question at the end of this was, how do you win if you're not the PLA controlling person? It seems very overwhelming, and there's a lot of PLA troops, and they never stop forward.
And I think that's also another place this is very true to life, right? Is that this game, no matter what, ends at the latest by the 5th round. And you don't have to win by destroying all the PLA. You just have to win by lasting until then with a certain number of cities. And that's, I think, honestly, kind of, again, true to life. What Taiwan needs to be able to do, first and foremost, is hold out until allies and partners would actually be able to show up and support Taiwan.
And I mean, you guys were strategic there. You wanted us to keep Taipei. I don't even know, was that a strategic decision as in you thought you would win or gain more points, or you just, because it was Taipei, you want to keep Taipei, right?
I did want to keep, because until I died down there, I did have 2 cities and then I had Hualien. So I had a couple cities that I was really trying to not move away from, even when it was tempting to go, grab a couple more sort of outlying areas.
Yeah, I was on C1 earlier, wanted to protect that one, and that one unfortunately went away quickly. But yeah, part of the decision to go back to Taipei, was to kind of create a little bit of a group of forces right there, but also control a big area on the map for.
As the certified trader assigned to me, I actually did struggle at the beginning to figure out how I wanted to play this because I couldn't tell if I'm actually supposed to want to reveal my identity, and that's why I was reading this, because I was thinking, okay, is it better if I reveal? Is it better if I don't reveal? I was trying to figure out the scoring of it. And so at the beginning, I was like, well, we'll just play along and see, because I don't know what's supposed to happen. And, the events of the game will happen, right? We had what did we have?
We had a water outage. We had an air raid.
God, I think 2 air raids.
Yeah.
I chose not to be protected by the Buddha. The Starlink modernization. So anyways, events happen. And so I was just really curious to see what was happening. But I agree. I almost felt overwhelmed myself by all the PLA troops. And frankly, if we kept playing, if I were to reveal myself, and then we would ultimately kill this guy. And so, we would have won.
Channing is a cutthroat competitor. So if you ever want to see us play more games on the podcast, feel free to let us know in the comments. I would love to get my revenge someday. Maybe not through 2045.
I do have one question for Bobby, because you've been watching us, or participating and, you know, doing this with us, right, from day one. We've been putting this podcast together, figuring out, okay, if for the broad audience, what do we want to talk about when it comes to Taiwan? So I think we've covered all these different topics. Now we're playing a really intense game that actually you need advanced knowledge of Taiwan to, I think, get it. You know, I think anyone can pick this game up and play, but it might not make as much sense if you actually had no background about Taiwan, right? I think the little factions and the way that points are scored does make sense if you have that background. So did you feel like you learned something from this game? What was it? Do you feel like you wish you had more Taiwan knowledge, less Taiwan knowledge? Just would love to hear your thoughts.
For this game specifically, learning about each individual city, y'all made little mentions. One was pottery, one was like where they make their drones. Learning that kind of stuff because I'm a big map person too. I love maps, and so looking at a map of Taiwan, understanding where the cities are, like what's important and to those cities, was a big piece of learning for me. I think this was a good way to understand like the true scale of what an invasion to Taiwan could be. It is very overwhelming, and I think that kind of highlights the struggle that they're having right now is dealing with that. So this is a great way for somebody who's a beginner to the topic and the situation to kind of have a little bit of fun with it, learn, and be competitive with your friends to try to compete and win, or try to backstab somebody, Channing.
Well, again, I was following what KJ said, right? You just play for yourself.
Yeah, so I think it was a really good experience, and you learn a lot from this. Just little individual cultural things and stuff like that I didn't have before. So,
Well, thank you for being such a good sport. Obviously, you know, getting on the other side of the camera.
Thank you for having me on. This is really
joining
cool.
us for this. It's been so fun, and I'm really glad we got to do this.
All right. Well, you know, like Libby said, if you want to play some games with us, email us straightforward at stsp.ai. That is STRAITFORWARD at stsp.ai. And with that, we look straightforward to seeing you next time.